Welcome to my presentation on thesis and topic sentence writing, which is a very important structure of, I suppose, essay general writing. So first, let's get started with the thesis and topic sentence and some definitions. A thesis statement is usually the last, one of the last sentences in the introduction. It has a couple of functions, I suppose. We use it for defining the particular focus of an essay. It's very important in that regard, and it's a key sentence in giving our main idea or main argument within a structured piece of writing. We can either have a stated or an implied thesis statement, and I'll explain with these later on. And all paragraphs in the essay or the piece of writing should explain or support this actual thesis statement. Okay, and we'll elaborate further on how we can do this. Now, a topic sentence is the first sentence of a paragraph. It introduces or starts a paragraph, I suppose. The functions are, it introduces the topic of a particular paragraph and also details briefly what will be discussed in the paragraph. So it has a very particular focus, whereas the thesis statement is something which covers the whole essay. All sentences in a paragraph should explain or support the topic sentence, and likewise all paragraphs and topic sentence should support the thesis statement. Okay, so the thesis statement deals with the entire piece of writing. The topic sentence is merely for the paragraph. What is a thesis? Here's an example. This essay will discuss how an infant ethos and culture of success has made IBM one of the world's leading companies. So, a thesis describes briefly but accurately what the reader should expect. The essay will talk specifically about IBM's ethos and culture. Pretty much, we say it there. And obviously, it's an innovative ethos and it's a culture of success, but roughly speaking, it's an ethos and the culture. Right? We use it as a guide for signposting different stages and steps. So the first part of this particular piece of writing shall discuss IBM's innovative success, and the second is its culture of success. It's important for your writing as it focuses your discussion. All right, the thesis should be accurate and be clear about what it's talking about. So your essay will only talk about the innovative ethos, culture of success, and everything you mentioned should be related. So there shouldn't be any kind of divergence away talking about other elements which have made the company successful. And you should focus on these particular parts. This isn't to say that other elements are important. This is just saying that these are the points which for you are important in terms of your argument or your essay that you're writing. A stated thesis, which we mentioned a couple of slides back, is one particular kind of thesis statement. This is an example. This analysis shall highlight how climate, cuisine, and lifestyle have a positive impact on tourism. Okay, so within a thesis, the stated thesis, the main topic of the essay must be clear and accurate. The main topic: how climate, cuisine, and lifestyle have a positive impact on tourism. Okay. The stated thesis statement tells the reader exactly what each part of the essay will discuss. In this case, we're going to discuss climate, cuisine, lifestyle, and of course the relation to having a positive impact on tourism. only needs to mention the main general paragraph topic. You don't need to go into the specific details about what you're really going to talk about. It should really only be a word or a short phrase, and you should avoid giving away too much information. These things can be explained in perhaps a subsequent paragraph, or they'll be explained in your topic sentences for each individual paragraph. The idea here is just to explain that these 3 points will back up your overall topic, okay, or your thesis. The purpose is also to inform and prepare the reader the essay's key discussion points. It's also for the writer, in that as you're writing, you can always look back to your thesis statement and make sure that you are talking about the parts which matter. So if we look at this thesis statement I gave you, if you're writing about how climate, cuisine, and lifestyle have a positive impact on tourism, if you find yourself talking about, I don't know, amenities or access to airports and things like that, you might need to reconsider what it is that you're writing there. Okay. The last thing is stated thesis statements work very well for longer essays, more serious academic subjects where you need to be very precise and clear about what it is you're writing. If you're writing something shorter, you may not want to do a stated thesis statement. You may prefer to use an implied thesis statement. So there's an example. This analysis shall highlight how 3 key features have a positive impact on tourism. All right. So the difference here is we're not. You'll notice straight away we're not actually giving the three things which have a positive impact on tourism. Say 3 key features. Okay. But we still clearly state what the overall topic is. In this case, what has a positive impact on tourism? 3 key features. But what are the 3 key features? Well, this is the thing. We're suggesting to the reader what the essay will contain. 3 key features. We keep them guessing. Maybe perhaps as a tourist in your own lifetime, you might think, well, what has a positive impact? Food, the weather, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a third one there, okay? Okay, we are implying the contents of the essay, okay? We're not telling them, but we're allowing the reader to guess or to assume what might be discussed. And the reason for this is that they keep the reader interested by not revealing all the essay's content. Okay, and this is important because different essays have different purposes. Right? They can be used in personal or less formal writing, or shorter pieces that you want to keep people interested in what it is you're writing about. Okay, sometimes if you're too structured in these, it just may feel a little bit off-putting. All right. Topic sentences. As I said, the topic sentence, it introduces the topic of the paragraph. It must refer back to support the thesis statement. It's also an effective tool for signposting stages and main points. Okay, so obviously where a paragraph is a key point, shorter pieces of writing, which possibly is a main point, sometimes 3 or 4 paragraph essays, it'll be very important. If you have more paragraphs, you may want to structure it differently. With topic sentences, it's important to be a simple sentence stating exactly what the paragraph intends to do. All right. So I am saying like a simple, as in simple sentences, and not an easy sentence. Okay. Um, it's important that the reader knows what's going on. All right. And we signal as well. Just we can be signaling, which can often be an effective way of having a topic sentence as we connect either to the topic of the main thesis or to the paragraph before. And there's just a list of some very common or useful signals. Subsequently, firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, now, next, earlier, following this, in contrast. Okay, and just to give you an example of some effective topic sentences, these are just merely examples. Secondly, the main role of a public health system is to provide equal access to medical care for all citizens. Obviously, this is the second point in an essay talking about the role of a public healthcare system. All right, and we use secondly, it's clear, it's accurate, okay, and it addresses the point fully. Okay. In addition to my previous argument, it is notable that climate change may have an effect on the economies of different countries. So we know this in addition to my previous argument. So this is a further further discussion on climate change and the role it could have on economies. So there's an economic issue discussed in this. Previous paragraphs may have talked about other health-related aspects, maybe, or something like that. Okay, next one. In contrast to this, eating too much red meat can have a negative impact on your health. So we're talking about red meat, steak, pork, things like that. In contrast to this, so a previous discussion may have talked about the benefits or positives, or perhaps we might mention, it may have been talking to an alternative to red meat, so perhaps fish or something like that, or white meat. But the main point is the signal in contrast to this. And then we clearly say eating too much red meat can have a negative impact on your health. So we know that the next paragraph will discuss the negative impacts of red meat on your health. This one, a key point in this discussion is the purpose of state-funded education. This one we don't know where in the actual what stage in the essay it actually is, but we know straight out that this discussion is the purpose of state-funded education. So this will talk about why do we have state-funded education. Okay. Now I will talk about my experience traveling through Ashley as a university student. So again, this is another stage to the signal now. So we know that this paragraph is going to talk about the author's experience traveling through Italy as a university student. Very straightforward. We know exactly what it'll talk about. We can imagine, maybe he went here, or maybe he didn't go here. Maybe we've learned in other paragraphs about his love of Italy, or perhaps negative experiences in Italy. And from that understanding, we can probably guess what he probably will talk about. If you know anything about travel and things like that. Okay, if we look at health-related reasons, we can see another reason why teenagers should be prevented from drinking alcohol at a young age. So at this stage, we know that health-related reasons is another reason. So we've already had other reasons why teenagers should be prevented from drinking alcohol at a young age. We don't know because we're just looking at a topical sentence here, but perhaps you can guess what they are. Probably something to do with social problems, peer pressure, violence, things like that. Okay, so those are just some examples of some topic sentences. You'll notice that they're all very straightforward. They clearly tell us what this paragraph will talk about. course, the next big challenge is to actually write the content that these topic sentences belong.